What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to do a video that's a little different than what I normally do. Rather than just giving a straightforward review, I'm going to talk about an experience that I went to recently. And that was, I got to see Sleepaway Camp at one of my local theaters that's near my house. And I got to watch the movie with Felissa Rose in attendance, and she gave a commentary throughout the film. And it was just such an enjoyable and engaging experience. And I felt like it would be a lot of fun to just talk about it. So a while back, my buddy Kellin and I, we were doing a YouTube channel together called It's Too Much Media, where we got together, drank a bunch of beers, and reviewed movies. And it's a blast. It's fun to watch. If you want to go over there, we've got some videos that we've done together that were so much fun. I enjoyed it. And Sleepaway Camp was one of my favorite ones that we did because I got to see Colin's reaction when we watched it together, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm not going to go into like a full in-depth review because you can go click the link and watch that video where we did the full breakdown scene by scene, giving our thoughts and how we feel about it. But I love the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's an enjoyable film. It's really stupid at times. It's over the top, but it's a blast. So what I'll do is I'll give like a quick plot synopsis of the film, but I'm going to add the link to that video in this video so you can go watch my drunken thoughts on the film and the ridiculousness of it, but it's just a blast. Sleepaway Camp is directed by Robert Hiltzik. Slightly disturbed and painfully shy Angela Baker is sent away to summer camp with her cousin. Not long after Angela's arrival, things start to go horribly wrong for anyone with sinister or less than honorable intentions. Sleepaway Camp is obviously, you look at a film like this, and it's paying homage to a lot of films that came before it. You have a POV killer view throughout most of the film. You have the pronoun game, as I like to call it, where whenever somebody gets killed, you get, it's you, where they just look at the character, so that way you as an audience member don't know who the killer is. And there's, throughout the film, there's all these really ridiculous plot arcs like I talk about in that full review. You have this camp counselor who, the entire plot arc of him is just, he's only worried about his camp shutting down. He doesn't care that anybody's dying. He doesn't care about any of that. He just gives a fuck that these people, like his camp could close. And that's everything to him. You have all these interpersonal relationships between these young kids. You have this really creepy cook at the beginning of the film who's like a pedophile who gets his just desserts, getting killed in a way that could have been more comical, but it's executed really well, and he definitely gets the death that he deserved. Judy, who is one of the most evil characters in the film, she gets a very timely demise as well. But I'm not going to give away all the spoilers in the film because I think it's a blast, especially if you've never seen it. It's so much fun. It has that Friday the 13th vibe on the campground mixed in with those like Halloween POV style kills, over-the-top dialogue. It definitely some funny outfit choices. It was really funny listening to Felissa Rose talk about the short shorts throughout the film, and like how one of the counselors in particular there, he's always in the frame like working out, but whatever he's doing in the scene, he's always got these hiked up shorts that his crotch is just like bulging out of the whole time, and it is the funniest fucking thing in the world. But it was really cool to see someone like Felissa Rose, who obviously she's done a lot of conventions. She goes and engages with the horror community quite a bit. And what I liked so much about this experience in particular is that it gave some insight to some behind the scenes stuff that the audience probably didn't know about, her connections with people on the set, how different days of shooting were, which I thought was really interesting. Was when you hear a lot about film shoots, normally if you're not in a scene, the person isn't normally on set, but Felissa Rose said that even if there was shots that she wasn't in, that she was there for the entirety of the production from start to finish. And I thought that was really cool that they were so involved, and listening to the amount of people there on set that she became friends with, and just the overall experience of how much of a communal effort it was to create this piece of film. And obviously it's just a campy 80s B movie that is ridiculous and dumb and fun, but there's this sense of community surrounding it. And I thought that that was one of the coolest parts about the Q&A experience, was Felissa Rose talking about how much the horror community means to her, and how you have all these people from different walks of life and different backgrounds, and that they all come together for this common goal of loving these movies. How a lot of marginalized groups of people really enjoy horror because of the fact that there's this sense of trauma and feeling like an outcast in a lot of these films. and it brings people together, and I thought that was so cool. And this film tackles some subject matter at the end of the movie that some people will watch and they'll say, oh, well, that's a little much or whatever. The way Felissa Rose talked about it, and how, spoilers, if you have not seen the movie, I would skip ahead about a minute, but at the end of the film you find out Angela's character is actually a boy, and that this tragic accident at the end of the film, that she was a boy, and that this woman who brought her in has forced this young boy to become Angela. And it's really interesting, and what I liked was Felissa Rose was talking about how when she was touring around, that some of the people who are the most supportive and engaging of the film are members of the transgender community. And I thought that was really awesome to just listen to her talk about how positive and encouraging members of these different communities are when it comes to supporting this silly film. And she talked about how this film has essentially made her life so much more fulfilling and great. And that, in short, is why I love horror movies. I love that this community of people who enjoy these really ridiculous, over-the-top films, or these very gritty, realistic films, have this such sense of community, that they come together, they care about each other, they care about each other's opinions, they're respectful of people. Obviously always exceptions to that rule. There's people that are just downright rude and awful about everything. But that's one of the cool things about this community, and getting to go to a thing like that, be a part of that community, listen to people ask questions about what they're passionate about at the film, and how much they care about this franchise over the years, was really wonderful, and I enjoyed it. And obviously Sleepaway Camp spawned several sequels. Felissa Rose was able to come back and do Return to Sleepaway Camp years down the road later. It's a movie that I have a really deep fondness for. I think that it's a lot of fun. It shows what you can accomplish, and what, even if you don't have a ton of money, not a high visual effects budget, that you can go to a place with a bunch of people who seem to have a lot of fun together and create this thing that people still talk about and that they still love, and that community around it is what makes it so great. And like I said, I didn't want this to be a super long review of the film because I already did that, but I just wanted to say I recommend you watch Sleepaway Camp. If Felissa Rose comes to your town and does a Q&A, I would go. I think it was fantastic. Lucky enough where I live in Ohio, in central Ohio, that they do a lot of really cool things at some of the independent theaters that I go to. A couple years ago, I got to go to a local theater and watch Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me with Cheryl Lee and Ray Wise in attendance. And it was so cool to listen to them talk about their experiences with David Lynch and working on that set, and how important the Twin Peaks franchise was to them. And I think it's really cool when you as a film lover get to experience those type of things, where you get those perspectives from the people that were involved. And if you get a chance to do one of these things, I'd highly recommend it, especially with someone like Felissa Rose, who is so passionate about this material and gives a fuck about it and cares about the community and engages with people and talks to them, and isn't just doing it because it's like, oh, it's the thing I'm known for, but doing it because she actually gives a fuck, and about the relationships that it has built for her over the years. And I just thought that it was so cool, and I wanted to share that with you all. So have you seen Sleepaway Camp? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. It's one that's going to be in my regular rotation for years to come. I think it is so much fun. I love the movie. I think it's an absolute blast, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. As always, if you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting new material out there. I have so much fun making these videos for everybody, and I hope that you're enjoying them as much as I enjoy making them. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.